Hello and welcome to Conservative to America. I'm your host, Cole Holcomb, and welcome to episode 4 of Live Free or Die. Today we're going to be discussing Matt Gaetz dropping out of consideration for Attorney General. Well, let's start off. Potentially damning testimony against Attorney General nominee Matt Gaetz has reportedly been hacked from a digital file shared by lawyers representing a woman who said she was paid to have sex with the former congressman when she was just 17 years old. The information hacked early Monday afternoon contains a couple dozen exhibits presented to House Ethics Committee and the Justice Department, according to the New York Times. The information hacked earlier Monday afternoon contains a couple dozen exhibits presented to the House Ethics Committee and the Justice Department, according to the New York Times. The alleged hacker, who used the assumed alias as Altum Beasley, reported obtained the documents in connection to a civil suit in which the information is also being used. A Florida businessman is suing a woman who allegedly had sex with Gaetz as a teen, as well as a former friend of the ex-congressman for defaming him by claiming he hosted raunchy parties where illegal activity occurred. The stolen files are also said to include evidence calling into question the defendant's accounts of those allegedly drug-fueled sex parties. CBS News sources identified the hacker as a quote, unknown and unauthorized third party, end quote. The Justice Department has charged Gaetz with no crimes. He denies any wrongdoing. The House committee meets Wednesday, where it could decide to make its investigation into the 42-year-old Republican public. None of the information hacked Monday appeared to have been disseminated online or to media organizations by late Tuesday afternoon. President-elect Donald Trump tapped Gaetz to be the nation's leading law enforcement officer last week as Attorney General. He will need to be approved by Republican-controlled Senate in 2025. Senators from both sides of the aisle have asked to see the House report. And of course, we now know, as I wrote this earlier, that he is withdrawn from consideration for Attorney General. Well, Gaetz was respected as one of these contenders if Donald Trump did not run for president. He was in the top group of contenders to run. This guy tried to get House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to drop all investigations on him in the House, and Kevin McCarthy refused to do it. He said, "No, I'm not going to do that." So what did Matt Gaetz do? Well, he went after him and he got rid of the speakers. He got the speaker's gavel out of McCarthy's hands. I like Mike Johnson more than I like McCarthy, but still, we can thank Matt Gaetz for getting rid of McCarthy. And he has practically been a ruckus down in the House. We finally got him done there. He's finally out of Attorney General, and he has left politics for good, which is good for Republicans, in my opinion. I think that is something that it will end up being influential and making sure that there is not disagreements in the House of Representatives with the Republican body trying to oust speakers and focusing more on ousting the speaker than getting the job done that they were elected to do. So that's something that I am excited for in this new House, that Matt Gaetz will not be there. You know, I've been in opposition to this pick since Donald Trump announced it, and I will continue to always stand as with my opposition to this pick. It's good. People are now asking, who's the next Attorney General going to be? Who's Donald Trump's next pick going to be if it's not Matt Gaetz? Well, there are a few names being floated. We will discuss that on the K&H angle, where Britton Wadsworth will come on tonight. So, I'd like to discuss Lincoln Riley. As everybody knows, yesterday, Lincoln Riley, the man who killed Lincoln Riley, was given his sentence yesterday. Quoting Senator Kennedy of Louisiana, he said, "Lincoln Riley was killed, and how did we treat her murder? Well, we gave him a nice stay at a swanky hotel in Manhattan, and then gave him a plane ticket down to Atlanta. That's how we treat criminals underneath the Biden administration. It's terrible." This man ended up murdering Lincoln Riley while she was on a jog in the morning at Georgia University back in February. It's terrible. I cannot say justice is being served, because there's no way that justice can be served for an innocent woman who was brutally murdered and then raped. It is absolutely terrible that this can happen in a first world country like this, and that guys like him can make it across our border and not be deported immediately, and then come and murder and rape United States citizens. It's absolutely terrible. But with all that being said, he was sentenced to life yesterday. As I said, I'd like to say justice being served. I can't say that though, because how can justice be served for a crime so gruesome as this? He should have the death penalty, but not just the death penalty. It should be the most gruesome penalty that you could find. But but lucky for him, he's in the United States of America, where we have to treat you like you're a human being, even whenever you are a piece of garbage. And this message is to him tonight. You are a piece of trash. And he's probably not watching this, but he is a piece of trash who deserves to burn. Now, leaving that conversation, let's go back to the Republican House majority right now. So, the House currently stands for Democrats and I'm sorry, excuse me, 213 seats for Democrats and 219 seats with Republicans. With last night, us finally picking off and flipping that seat in Alaska. Let's go. There's still two seats to be uncalled, the one in California and the one in Iowa. Those seats Republicans are leading right now, as we know, Communist California. Now, one in California, 96% in, 50.1 to 49.9. In Iowa, 50.1 to 49.9. Miller Meeks has already declared victory in that race with 99% of the expected vote in, 96.3 of the expected vote in for John Durarte and Adam Gray. Uh, Hopefully, the Republican can pick off that seat and can keep that seat, so we'll have a 221 seat majority whenever we return to the House. As we know, we picked up those seats in Pennsylvania and in Michigan, and we flipped seats and we did flip a respectable amount of seats across the country. Uh, Not what we saw in the Senate with our 53-47 majority, and not what we saw with that 312 to 226. Down ballot voting did not fall into the same line like it did in 2016 and 2020. It did not follow the same order. But I can still say that we walked away good in this battle, where we have the presidency, the Senate win a good majority, and the House of Representatives. So I think that Republicans, with Matt Gaetz gone, as I said, we will actually be able to get policy done, and we will not be fighting over, oh, well, I don't like the speaker because of this. No, we'll actually be fighting for the common good of Americans, and we'll be fighting to do what they elected. They'll be fighting to do what the people elected them to do, which I think is amazing and what the people have wanted. That's what the people wanted. The people elected Joe Biden to do a good job as president. What did he do? He did a crappy job. He gave us $5 gas out in California, and then he gave us expensive groceries. So I mean, I just think that is absolutely terrible. But with all that being said, uh, I would like to thank everyone for coming on to today's episode of Live Free or Die. I would like to ask everyone to come on tonight to conservative to come on tonight to that to the K and H angle. Come on tonight to the K and H angle and check out Keffer PrimeTime with Griffin Keffer. We'll be having a special guest tonight, Britton Wadsworth, on tonight's podcast. It'll be great. We're going to go over a bunch of big topics that have come into the news this week, especially today, going into this Thanksgiving holiday. I'd like to remind everyone there will not be an episode posted on Thanksgiving. But I would like to just thank you for watching and tuning in to Live Free or Die. We hope that we'll see you here again tomorrow. And make sure to check in to the K&H angle later this afternoon, along with Keffer Primetime. Thanks. I'm the host, Cole Holcomb, signing off.